Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, and ranking members' leadership on this issue. I always say that nobody's going to hold a rally for IT procurement, but when I'm back home, everybody asks about this question because they recognize that $80 billion is being spent on IT procurement. 80% of it's on legacy systems. It's about using American taxpayers' dollar wisely. It's about making sure we have an efficient government that's providing services to our citizens, and it's making sure that we're using technology that's keeping us safe and protecting our digital infrastructure. My first question is to Mr. Halverson. Are you familiar with the, when did you come into the position as CIO?
I've been in this position about 2.5 years.
Okay, are you familiar with the Expeditionary Combat Support System?
I am.
And that is a system that was canceled in 2012 after spending more than $1 billion and failing to deploy within the 5 years of initially obligating funds. Is that accurate?
It is.
One of the things that we're looking at in the FITARA scorecard is incremental development. It's major development investments, and are they achieving measurable goals every 6 months? DoD is listed as an F when it comes to delivering this. As of May 2016, only 41% of those projects were being delivered. In asking for a modernization fund and additional funds, what is going to be done differently in Department of Defense to ensure that if you do have more money for investments on updating legacy IT systems, that you're going to actually hit the mark on time?
I would say a couple things. One, we are a little out of sync with the grading criteria in that we have a 6 to 12 month, not a 0 to 6 month grade within DoD. We are moving that more forward. Since I've been in, we have leveled that time to 6 to 12. It was higher before. I think if you look at the things we have done recently, you will see that we are doing things that are modernization. The move to Windows 10 is the single biggest move to a single operating system ever undertaken by any organization. We are getting that done. We have a year time frame. We are on track to do that. We'll hit 80% of DoD in the year. We have done more modernization with the commercial sector, and I think that is the important piece that we need to recognize here. Our modernization needs to be done much more in conjunction with partnership with the commercial sector.
So Mr. Halverson, are you saying buy, not build?
I am saying buy, mostly not build.
Excellent. The next question is for Mr. Mulholland. What is Treasury's strategy to manage unsupported technologies such as the mainframe capabilities, where it states that Treasury will assume the risk of the expired support technology? You know, we send a letter out to every agency asking for old programming languages being used, systems that are no longer supported by vendors, and in some of these systems that are no longer supported by vendors, Treasury is saying that they're assuming the risk for that expired technology. What's the strategy to manage these unsupported technologies?
I am not the Treasury CIO, so I can't speak completely, but we are a large part of that organization.
Well, in some of these, the responses, it was saying that IRS will be assuming the responsibility for that, for managing that. So
yes, we believe all of the technologies we have today are in fact supported. We might write, for example, when we were completing the drive to get to Windows 7, we worked out a special support need with Microsoft to cover the Windows XP environments while we were completing the job, for example. The rest of the environments, like what you call the mainframe, which is a System Z, is in fact fully supported by the supplier IBM. It's a very modern operating system. We're running Linux on the Z. In fact, our main migration path for all new development is to build these applications with Java and run it on the Z, or wherever best. It could be on an Intel processor. We also are using the dollars to say, stay current, whether it's the BIOS, whether it's the operating system, whether it's the middleware, whether it's the tools you're using, or the Koch product, be no more than N or N-1 versions behind.
Copy, Ms. Mulholland, and I only have 10 seconds left. Do you have a modernization roadmap that creates a common modern platform for mission delivery?
Absolutely. In fact, we have shared it with this committee. We called it the Technology Roadmap, part of delivering of what we call the future state for the IRS.
And where are you in implementation?
We're just at the very beginning for that, for the migration to be the digital enterprise, but a part of that is the modernization of all the legacy systems, which includes replacing that assembly language code with Java. That's part and driven by the K2 project, which is underway.
Thank